Have you ever felt mentally exhausted, yet no one seemed to notice? There is an epidemic ignored by many, an epidemic of the mind. It is called mental disturbance. A person is called mentally distressed when distress affects his thought, emotion, and behavior, and it shows up in his daily life. Despite all the distress, you may be working, smiling, and even achieving, yet the heaviness quietly remains. You perform your duties well, but deep down, you know how difficult it was during that time and even later. This never stops because we become so conditioned to the struggle that it feels all normal. Almost everyone experiences this silently. And if you think that you are the only one, then you are not. It may not be called a disease, but its effects are profound. Many studies across the world show how widespread this burden is. Almost half of adults in Ethiopia and Tanzania reported mental distress. A large US study found that distress among adults increased dramatically from 1990 to 2020, even when people didn't have a formal mental disorder. Nearly 9 out of 10 workers say they experience stress at work, and half admit it harms their performance. This is not just data, it is our daily reality. We are social beings. What happens inside us inevitably affects those around us. When the mind is constantly worked up, the body shifts to the fight or flight mode. In that moment, we may say or do things that leave lasting scars in relationships. Sometimes the glass shatters so completely that it cannot be pieced together again. An overworked mind gives rise to ego, and ego makes us forget the simple power of saying sorry. Sometimes a sincere sorry is all it takes to heal a broken bond. When distress takes over, we lose the ability to see life as a whole. We struggle to focus, to finish tasks, and even when we succeed, the emotional exhaustion lingers. We try to escape it by following people, systems, or quick fixes, but nothing truly eases the burden. Financially, too, a restless mind pays the price. We chase endless work, buy things we don't need, or neglect our savings, all in the search for momentary comfort. And for short-term relief, we turn to our phones, our modern dopamine dispensers. This gives us a quick sense of calm, but in the long run, they drain our attention and peace. We panic when we lose our phone, yet remain indifferent when we lose our peace of mind. Silent suffering has become the new normal. As a doctor from Nepal, I have lived through this myself. From my medical school days to clinical practice, I have felt mental tiredness, meaninglessness, and the racing mind. There were moments when I looked fine on the outside, yet inside I was exhausted. Things started to change when I discovered meditation. It didn't make me immune to stress. After all, I am human, but it taught me to absorb my thoughts with curiosity instead of fear. Sometimes I even laugh at my own mind and keep that laughter to myself. Meditation helped me overcome ego, forgive more easily, and see every person with respect. Being a doctor doesn't make me superior, it makes me responsible. I feel, I observe, I live, I fail, and I rise again on this beautiful path called life. Mental distress is everywhere, yet we rarely speak of it. We grew up in cultures that glorify strength and hide vulnerability. We say, I'm fine, even when we are breaking inside. Modern life hides pain well under busyness, screens, and noise. But when we are most vulnerable, it surfaces. Some people think of giving up entirely. Most never act on it, but a few take the most tragic step, ending their own life. Every week, about 1.2 million people talk to ChatGPT about suicidal thoughts. That number shows how desperate people are to find a space to open up. If this is just those in deep crisis, imagine how many more suffer silently every single day. In Nepal, where I work, life feels different. Here in the mountains, we work during the day, cook our own meals, and sit together in the evenings. Phones stay aside, conversations return. We may lack luxury, but we have peace. Modernization hasn't arrived fully, and maybe that's what keeps our lives balanced. But in the cities, the story changes. The noise of ambition often drowns the voice of the soul. To break free from this invisible weight, the first step is to recognize it. You can't heal what you won't face. When we accept that mental distress is real, we open the door to healing. In an age where humanity plans to colonize other planets, learning to live peacefully in our own planet has become our greatest challenge. Think about it. In the vastness of the universe, we are smaller than a grain of sand. Yet within each of us lies an entire universe of consciousness and wonder. The choice to rise above the turmoil is ours. We must believe in ourselves. Much of our distress is self-created and illusionary. At work, we can choose balance, doing what we can within the time we have. Sometimes the wisest move is not to push harder, but to pause. Rest is not a weakness. It is nourishment for the body and the mind. In relationships, we can choose to rise above ego and remember the beauty that we once shared. Opening up to loved ones isn't shameful, it's human. If nothing seems to help, we can still explore. Consult a psychologist, practice mindfulness, move your body, enjoy nature, eat well, reflect, meditate. There are always ways to find peace, but they begin with awareness. We are blessed to be humans. We hold within us the power to transform and uplift ourselves. In this fast paced era, inner awakening is not a luxury but a necessity. If you ever felt the weight of this unseen burden, know this and you can rise above it. If these words resonate with you, share your reflections in comments. And if you wish to explore ways to calm the mind and heal within, visit www.meditatingground.com, where science meets stillness.